Hello, and welcome, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need read for this full moon in October, waning to the new moon in November? I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle production since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle, link in the description box, the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hey, Mars conjunct Leo rising here, my lovely Leonines. So begins the gamut. The gamut? Yeah, run the gamut. I am Leo rising, Virgo sun, Venus and Libra, so these next three. Try and keep myself out of the reads. Let's see how this goes. If you're new to my channel, 7-card draw is nothing more than one card from 7 different card systems to get you clues, tips, and hints about a specific timeline. The timeline we are looking at is a waning moon timeline this time around, the full moon to the new moon, October into November. Let's look at that briefly. The full moon, it's in Aries, but it goes void of course at the same time it goes full. So an astrologer would say that is a void of course full moon, not an Aries full moon, but it's still, you can catch the waxing side of it up until Wednesday, October 20th, 10:57 a.m. Eastern Time. I am in New York. Then we're looking at a 14-day timeline, 2 weeks, half of the entire moon cycle to the new moon in Scorpio, Thursday, November 4th, 5:15 p.m. So what do you need to let go of, to release, to alchemize, to forgive? You get the idea. Here, I'll give you the visual aid, the sound effect. Boop, 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 boop. Right? Waxing moon is boop, 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 boop. Waning, boop, 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 boop. I was raised by a nursery school teacher, people. I've got all sorts of mnemonic devices and character voices, and that's why I'm the fun one here on YouTube. So, it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because your sun, moon, and rising and Venus signs are just going to process information differently. Not just about perhaps the timeline we're about to look at here, but maybe another one that you need to do some letting go on, because who doesn't? That's just part of the cycle of death and rebirth, erosion and renewal, giving and receiving. You get the deal. So, though I said it's a general read, if you would like a specific read, book me. There's a video in the description box called Booking a Reading with Mal. I send it to clients when they say, well, how do I, prospective clients, it's like I made a 13-minute video down in the description box. I enjoy it. I watch it every couple of weeks to see, is it still good? I'm like, yeah, it's still good. I had fun making it, and it's a good watch. It's a bit of a laugh. So go check that out. Otherwise, I say this in every reading, all the decks that I read are always at the bottom of the description box with links if you would like to check that out, as well as my stuff on Vimeo on demand. And I am now teaching pretty regularly on the Drawing the Circle Productions Facebook page. You don't need to be on Facebook to take any of the events somehow, so links in the description box if you want to check that out. Other than that, as I always say, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can through these divination systems, my pantheons of the divine, our pantheons of the divine, so that they be truly helpful. Let's do this. Please, take a nice deep breath. Just find that still point inside for a sec. Here we go. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, general assembly, the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, the spirit animals, totems, as well as the pantheon of pantheons for the Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the Carolyn Mace archetype card, the dominant energy in their 8th chakra, affecting everything else underneath it electromagnetically? The soul power being alchemized from shadow to light, led to gold. What is the shadow work here implied in the 8th chakra for the Leo collective this full to new October, November? Remember I told you I'm the Leo rising? Well, you got the Prince archetype, and I have the Prince archetype lifelong. You can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I have the Prince lifetime. Literally, my family acts like a royal family. There's a king, there's a queen, a princess, 4 princes. I'm the 3rd prince. 3rd prince is always the one who becomes king eventually. We're being raised by lawyers, like being raised by sharks. A teacher and a lawyer, right? So the Prince archetype is a masculine family archetype, but this has very little to do with bodily gender whatsoever. This is about masculine energy, but we all have both of those within us. The shadow is what needs to be healed, right? The shadow work is indicated in the shadow, and the light attribute is the light you're shooting for, the lead to gold. 3 more atoms in lead than gold on the periodic table. Can you believe I'm talking earth science? I am. So those 3 atoms have to be transformed, released, let go. It's a waning moon read. So the shadow attribute, using power for self-aggrandizement. Well, I have no idea to which you refer. Yeah, you know, people will puff themselves up that way, right? To be bigger than they really are. Not so much grandeur, but grandiosity. There's a big difference between those two things. So using power, you know, power over, seductive power, you know, princes. Oh my God, do I just have spin doctors in my head too? Marry him, marry me, I'm the one who loves you, baby, can't you see? But here's the beauty of the light attribute. Romantic charm and potential for power. Now, in the olden days, yes, certainly a prince could be the child of a king and queen, but it was also someone who was perhaps given what is called a principality, which still exists on the planet. In terms of like a state, like a region, a principality. So potential for power here for you in the 8th chakra, but you gotta, all right, they gave me a better word for using power for self-aggrandizement. Fronting. You just fronting. Not just puffing up your chest, but poser. Being a bit of a poser, using your financial power, your sexual power, your what have you. And remember, you don't have to be male to have the prince archetype. I have the mother archetype pretty strong in my archetypal chart, and yet I'm a male in this life. Go fig. Go fig. All right, now there's chakras involved here. That 8th chakra, we're now going to look at the next 4 down, the crown, the 3rd eye, the throat. The heart chakra here, this is usually where the psychological aspect of embracing the shadow comes in. Shadow work, you get what I'm saying, hopefully. Let's see what the dynamics are. Please take a nice deep breath. Waiting to inhale. Here we go as I call upon my goddesses of fire. The sign of Leo and the powers of the South. Please, 1 card in clarity for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video. This feels very strong. Receiving this reading. Please, what is the heart, throat, 3rd eye, crown dynamic here, where the shadow work usually takes place, or at least the throat chakra choice or decision to do it? With this Prince archetype being alchemized for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, this full to new October, November. Like I said, this feels really strong. 4 of Pentacles here isn't so much about closing the heart as we usually see, protecting the heart. Although the key word is security here, this is a stability. This is inner security. I'm going to say somebody who really has the stable foundation of the 4 of Pentacles on the inner. This is about wisdom. Not about having money inside of you, right? It's a sense of security, stability. So I said, well, this feels really strong, but not in an overpowering way. I feel like these two together, this is a prince who, yes, knows the protocols they have to go through, knows how to show up and do what they need to do, And though it's not a 10, there is this sense of, and a lot of Leos have this, that no matter what else anybody thinks, I'm good, right? That kind of internal stability. So no need to puff up your chest. But that romantic charm thing is so, in its light, I mean, that can be very destructive, right? That can be using that power in a toxic way in the shadow. But remember, you know, the romantics is a period, right? It's an art. It's a period of art, like the romantics, the poets. So look into that. Like find, well, I mean, the word Roman is essentially in it, obviously. So look to the original meanings of words for that if you're having a little trouble picking out that romantic vibe, the romantic charm, which I have Costco loads full in this life, and not always to my betterment, often to my detriment. So let's have a look-see-dooksy at this. Lower 3 chakras, we're going to use the Mythic Tarot. Lower 3 chakras are about relationships. Root chakra, tribal relationships, groups, organizations, families, circles of people, even your political leanings, your genetic heritage, all of that is root chakra. Second chakra, one-on-one relationship, umbilical. Like the umbilical cord, your relationship to another person, also creativity, sexuality, you know, that kind of second chakra stuff, money, big time, which I feel like you may not have as much as you want, but you're really creating something stable inside of yourself. And really, solar plexus for the Leos are really important. Solar, Leo ruled by the sun. Self-esteem, self-empowerment, your boundaries, your honor code. Self-esteem as verb, however, and your gut intuition, literally right here in your gut. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon my gods of fire, the sign of Leo, powers of the south, please, one card in clarity for the Leo collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What's going on? Lower 3 chakras, from the outside looking in at them, from the inside them looking out at some aspect of the physical world involving the 3 chakras. Lower 3 can be both of those. In terms of the alchemy of the Prince archetype with the 4 of Pentacles, security on the inner, we have got the Death card on the outer. Now this is just said to a client yesterday, or prospective client, one that I said the booking reading with Mal video to. I go, because we're doing a party out in the Hamptons, and I said to her, it's like, you know, if the Death card pops up at like a wedding reception, because I've worked wedding receptions before, you know, it's not like you want to take all the cards out of the deck, but it so rarely means physical death. I've been reading cards since I'm 12 years old. I'm now 53. Yeah, I know I don't look at things. But the Death card has only ever meant literal physical death twice in my life, and they were both members of my family. I wasn't doing the reading for them, but they showed up in a personal spread, which triggered a lot of transformation and change in my life. In one case, moving from Boston back to New York to deal with that kind of stuff. So, you know, this is Hades, right? It's the Mythic Tarot, Greek myth. Hades, god of the underworld, is not a murderer. He's the ender of pain. He's a god of transformation. He's an immense god of wealth. Really, like, think about all the stuff that's underground. As people are afraid of hell, I understand. But the Greek underworld, the mythic underworld, is not the same thing as hell. Now, Tartarus, that's a different story. They say that Tartarus is as far down from the underworld as the underworld is as far down from this world, the middle world. And then, of course, we have the upper worlds. So there is a transformation going on here in your life, whether this is you from the outside in, you looking out. Usually it's both. You know, the transformations we go through as transformations and symbolic deaths happen in our outside world, right? So again, general read, only you can know what that is. But we've got 4 more cards to look at here. I have a feeling we'll get some clarity. The Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. What's the healing mantra to help you with this chakric thing, which honestly doesn't feel horrible. I mean, the Death card is supposed to be scary, but it's not the end. It's the 13th out of 21 cards in the standard major arcana, right? So it's just halfway through. It's okay. Breathe. Right? Like graduating from 8th grade into 9th grade. Like that kind of thing. It's the death of the 8th grade and the birth of the 9th grade. Here we go. I call upon the Ascended Masters, a General Assembly. We don't really know that this is soul contract oriented or financially oriented, but with that Prince archetype, please, one card in clarity. For the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, what is their perfect healing mantra to help them alchemize this Prince archetype? With the Four of Pentacles, security on the inner, and that transformation of the Death card on the outer. Please, the perfect healing mantra for the Leos this full to new is inspiring others. I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. I do that every day. Sometimes even silently, right? Energetically. You know, looking at Tom Hiddleston, it's like, you're so talented and beautiful. I have a thing for British men. I kind of wish I didn't, because most of all they're in Britain and I'm in Long Island. There's just I've been binge watching Poirot, Agatha Christie's Poirot on YouTube. You can get all 77 episodes in a playlist. Inspiring others. I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. When others are inspired, you allow them to take central stage and step into a greater acknowledgement of their personal power. So look, Leos usually don't like to share the spotlight. Notice there ain't no one else on camera here, except maybe my cats will pop into view every now and again, right? So to share that, right? To give them their moment in the light. When others are made to feel useful, they are likely to embrace more courageous decisions as their self-worth increases. And I do that all the time out in public when I'm out in public, right? Barista, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you're such a delight. Like, oh, thank you so much. I'm not flirting with them. That's just, you know, inspiring them. Imagine the perfection of not having to do everything by yourself. I do imagine that. Imagine the perfection of not having to do everything by yourself and infusing others with a greater sense of purpose just by asking them for their help. Could you help me with this? Yeah, when you're self-employed, you pretty much have to do that every day anyway. It's not a matter of feeling weak or being incapable. Instead, it's about realizing the gift of inspiration you possess simply by inviting others to be a part of your day. It's a lovely vibe, and I can feel the generosity of Leo in that. The Sun, S-U-N, center of our solar system, is about generosity. It never stops output, right? It's never like, no, screw you planets, freeze, right? You know, I'm tired, I don't feel like shining, right? No, it's always giving out infinite generosity in every direction, and there are waves and particles of energy coming out of that thing our scientists don't even know about because frequency, right? This mantra is ideal for increasing intimacy in relationships, resolving martyrdom. You know, I do, and I do, and I do for you people. It can be very much a Leo scene. And communicating your needs. You know, I really need help with this, and I know you're really good at this. And I don't know, it's just, I said a prayer, and you popped into my head. And so, could you help me? Because I know you're good at this. I do this. I'm getting a new laptop. It's all paid for, just got to go pick it up. But I asked a very dear friend of mine, my Aquarian friend, my tech friend, and he found the best one for me, right? You know, because I don't know. I mean, how many ports do I need? Is this wine? Is this about shipping? What are we talking about? I know what it means. But, you know, it's like, I don't want to get bad equipment. I want to get the right thing. I've been burned down that road before. So absolutely. And after, you know, we found it, I sent him a text message. I said, I just want you to know how helpful you have been to me, and you work so hard, and I know you're really tired, so I really appreciate it, and I hope you acknowledge how much you are loved by so many people. Didn't hear back. He's an Aquarian. The opposite side of Leo. Leo's like, oh really, how lovely. Aquarians are like, well, thank you. I'll be distant and quiet about that, though. So let's ask the higher selves. This feels really nice. I mean, the Prince, an inspiring Prince, right? An inspiring Prince energy, I should say. He's got that security, but that Death card, again, that can be the end of the transformation of something. It is a card of alchemy and shadow work. Let's look at this. The Whispers of Love Oracle. Here we go. The party turner. Please take a nice deep breath. Let's see if we turn this party. as I call upon the higher selves of all involved. 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video and receiving this reading. What is the whisper of love? 5th dimension and above for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Alchemizing the Prince archetype in the 8th chakra. Security, 4 of Pentacles, heart, throat, 3rd eye, crown. Death, lower 3 chakras. And inspiring others. What's the whisper of love from the higher selves of all involved, please, with this scenario, this full to new October, November? Love is all around you. Now, if you have a beret and you're in Minneapolis, I think it's mandatory you go outside and throw it up in the air. I know a good chunk of my audience doesn't know what that is, but I think the majority does because you're going to make it, after all. Love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this is truth. By the way, Joan Jett does a pretty tear-up, amazing version of You're Gonna Make It. After all, love is all around. Now, the vibe I get on this is what's saying is that the security that you have inside of yourself, it is a 4, it is not a 10, it is not a completion here, but it is saying that as you inspire others, you are going to be tapping into the love that is all around you. It is true. Love is, if you want to go there, the E that equals MC squared, the theory of relativity, right? Good old Uncle Al Einstein there. But to tune yourself to that, I mean, that is what's going to really allow this death card transformation, whatever it is, to do what it's meant to do. Whether other people like it or not, you don't have to like transformations in order to benefit from them. This idea that if we don't like it, we're just going to attract more is just superstitious at this point. 5th dimensional unity consciousness really says that love is who we are. There is only one of us here, and the essence, the core of all that is love, right? The electro and the magnetic, the masculine and the feminine as one, that really the opposite ends of the spectrum just appear to be opposite. So there's something here about the healing power of love here, that if you are feeling lonely, cut off, not feeling that necessarily here in this, but to understand, okay, so how do we circulate that energy of the love that is all around us so that we feel it, right? So that we experience it? Well, I'm going to say acknowledging other people's gifts is a good way to do that, even if it's not verbal, even if it's not overt. To sit there and contemplate, it's like, okay, what are that person's gifts? What are their skills? What is it about them? And just acknowledge, right? Acknowledgement is one of the qualities of the soul. The soul will even acknowledge pain and suffering and fear and guilt and shame and all that shadow stuff in a loving way. Right? The soul acknowledges. So acknowledge that within others. And by the way, as you do that for others, of course, you're going to experience that more in yourself, because there are some difficulties, I think, with the old paradigm, old spirituality idea of mirroring. The idea of what you see in another is what you see in yourself. If you spot it, you got it. It's a little more complex than that. But certainly, as you encourage others, courage of the heart in French, then certainly that inspiration can create a lot of positive transformation when done from love, instead of being critical, right? The opposite of what this is implying, right? Acknowledging their gifts, point out their weaknesses, right? Their debts, their detriment. You know what you suck at? I don't know, it's like that. That's not a bad thing. Let's find out who are the animals walking with you from the Divine Animals Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. I freaking love her name, from New York. Please take a nice deep breath. This takes a minute. To tune to the totemic plane. All right, here we go. I call upon the totem and spirit animals for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the Divine Animal Oracle? To indicate who walks with them, who flies with them, who crawls with them, who swims with them. this full to new with the Prince archetype in alchemy. 4 of Pentacles on the inner, Death on the outer, inspiring others because love is all around you. Who's with them? What is the magic they may call upon? The spirit animal totemic vibe for them. I'll take that. This full to new, October, November. Seahorse? Seahorse, sorry, there's an old joke in there. Seafood, eat food. The key word here, in micro font, equality. Yeah, because the male and the female seahorses, how they raise their children. Now, all of these cards are gorgeous, but really, if you're working totemic animal stuff, there's a difference between totems and spirit animals, by the way. Card number 14. Right, that my only gripe about this is, can you see the number at the top of that card? It's in white on a cloud background. That's not great. So card number 14. But I guess they didn't make these for YouTubers. Why should they? They make these for all the world. I'm just going to read you the beginning and the end. There's a lot of info in here. Breathe. Seahorse. Equality. Seek equality in relationships, in particular, intimate ones. You will attract what you resonate. You can decide your future. Hiding from our fears is rarely a good strategy. It is time to ensure that the domestic and emotional labor in your world is shared equally. Now, the thing is yes, obviously, you know your vibration, usually by how you feel, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you do you. And certainly when you're feeling good, particularly Leos, we tend to let it radiate out, and that creates certain shifts in the electromagnetic dynamic. But when you get the chakras role in this, the Prince is a masculine energy. It is one that shines. That's why it's not about gender physically. It's more yang, masculine energy, but we all have that. So there's this thing of equality going on here, coming from a place of security, that looking in your relationships, particularly intimate ones, but let's underline that word intimate for a second and understand that you can have an intimate relationship with anybody. It's not always romantic sexual, right? A friend where you are vulnerable to each other. It takes vulnerability to be intimate, in case you didn't know. And I have to say, with this inspiring others, this is a good way to bring about that equality. To say to somebody, you know, you might see me as this way and I might see you as this way, but you have such skills and gifts that I don't have, because we're all equal. It's not that we're striving for equality. We're all equal. Since the Big Bang, right? All dimensions and timelines created all at once. But it is our process of awakening to that is what's happening on planet Earth. Unity consciousness is what I'm talking about, 5th dimension and above. Let me just read you the magic, the last little bit in here. Like most ocean-based elemental magic, the keys here are flow and fluidity. However, seahorse magic can best be utilized around issues of equality. If you want to be seen as an equal, or you are being discriminated against in sex, race, or status, you can ask for the help of seahorse energy and receive balance and justice. More like, I feel like the Prince inspiring others here with the love that's all around you is about fostering that equality, because coming from this place of stability, but it is during a time, a phase of your transformation, someone else's transformation, and like I always say, can be both of those, right? Can be simultaneous transformation, because there's only one of us here. Last card down. Now, what's the last deck here? The Mystical Celtic Blessing cards to enrich and empower. Blessed be by who? My subscribers, Lucy Cavendish. Ach, we love her. We love her power. The artwork is exquisite here, but these blessings are wonderful. It's like a book of prayer with a deck of cards connected to. I would love to do this for my book, Words of Grace. Someday. Someday. Oh, please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the pantheon of pantheons, all traditions, all cultures, all lineages, even that sometimes tinfoil hat woo-woo starseed extraterrestrial lineage stuff, please. Aliens. One card in clarity. Now, we would have been taking him so much more serious if he would have just got his hair did. Please, one card in clarity from the Blessed Be Oracle here. What is the hidden blessing that will be revealed during or after the shadow work implied here for the Leo Collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing the Prince into romantic charm and potential for power, using that Four of Pentacles within that wisdom that they have garnered. It does feel more emotional here, that feeling of security and stability within them. Death card on the outer, some kind of transformation at play here. Lower three chakras can be with them and somebody else. While the Ascended Masters are saying to inspire others, they help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts silently or verbally. It's a Leo, it's probably verbal. Because love is all around. And if they are not feeling it, like if they want to feel it, simply acknowledge, oh my God, double whammy, acknowledge in both cards, both the word acknowledge. Acknowledge their gifts and simply acknowledge this is truth. It's rare when they're right next to each other like that, in order to manifest some sort of equality here. And I do get this is probably a soul contract of some kind, can be tribal, right? More than one person, more than two people, could be second chakra. One-on-one could just be within themselves, but I say there's other people involved here for sure. So, beloved Pantheons of the Divine, what is the hidden blessing here for the Leos this full to new October, November? A blessing for the right words. Shit. A blessing for the right words. And check her out. Oh, that's a little Tilda Swinton. Don't you think? Do you think somebody likes, like, Tilda, don't move. There's a moon, right? Gotta love Tilda Swinton. If you're not watching What We Do in the Shadows, it was so good. Oh yeah, no spoilers. Card number 26, a blessing for the right words. I have a major crush. I know, everybody thinks I have a crush on Nandor. I have a crush on Guillermo. I go into gear mode. Harvey Guillion is so cute. A little young for me, though. Number 26, I'm just going to read this through. This is not incredibly long, but I need this, and then I will bless you with the Torch of Ariel. By the way, Archangel Ariel is the Archangel of Lyons. Just saying. Card number 26, a blessing for the right words. Breathe. Pantheons of the Divine, do this through me, please. A blessing for apt speech. To call to your lips the right words that speak simply and clearly and find their mark. It just made me cough. I'm Mark. Find me. May the words that fall from your lips be blessed, friend. In times when we must speak of difficult things, it can be a great challenge to conjure up the words that best express our feelings and intent without causing offense or harm to another. So yeah, there's a communication aspect here, and certainly with the inspiring others, right, with that seahorse, that equality, this does make sense. Yeah, there's that throat chakra, man. Give me a sec. There's something here that you need to say. It is going to transform something. This is making sense. We struggle sometimes with this balance, the balance of expressing our feelings without wounding people. We struggle sometimes with this balance. In doing so, our words may be watered down, lost in the desire to appease, in the wish to do no harm. But with this blessing, there will be words that come to find you. Without effort, the words alight by the fires of inspiration, and they will flow from your mind to your mouth and be heard fully and fairly. May you be blessed this day with the speech of good sense, the conversation that clears and clarifies, and most of all, the words that will be heard by those who you need to understand and listen. May you be blessed with the words that stir hearts, that make friends of minds that once were firm against yours. May your words like water seep their way into the cracks of stone and work their magic of transformation, death card, within. Your words are spells, and their magic can take time, but with the apt speech that you are blessed with this day, doors of understanding open up between you and others, and where you once fell silent, you will speak up. The Leo's going to roar, but in a loving way, in an inspiring way. Where you once faltered and shied away from the difficult things that must be said, you will rise and flow through this challenge and embrace the opportunity to give voice to the darkness. Shadow work. Where once you let others speak and heard only your own words in your mind, you will now hear them out in the world and know you have used words as others. And know you have used words as others use weapons, but it is not for battle, rather for courage and understanding. May you find ways to cut through the falsehoods that others and their words can weave about you. Let your words be songs of praise as they flow from the gift of speech you have been blessed with. May you no longer stay quiet, friend, for you have been blessed with the power of right speech, and it will serve you well each time you sing out your truth. Blessed be. This makes a lot of sense, particularly with the equality thing. Particularly if you have some kind of masculine energy power here, based in internal security, but this death card, there's something transforming, and I feel like the words you need to speak, inspiring others, is going to start this around. Do I think this is traumatic? Not really. But do I feel like there has been an inequity and injustice and imbalance? Well, with equality, it feels like a conversation is coming, but do make sure, this is shadow read, do make sure you have done the shadow work. Not that you rehearse what you're going to say to somebody, but that you really feel, if there's any of this, the Leo cat claws, right, the lion claws, to allow yourself to feel that it's not the enemy, but there's a pain in there. There's a frustration in there. The shadow is always about repressed material, something that we think is bad, where really it's just divinity disguised as something else, lying dormant until we embrace it and allow it to unfold, like a rosebud unfolding. Fear, love, they are one and the same, but they're not the same thing, right? It's all one, but they're not one and the same. Is that right? Something like that. Whatever. Matt Kahn, brilliant teacher. His latest video at the time of this recording, really worth checking out, Awakening Your Inner Healer. Check it if you can. All right, so there's definitely, it feels like a trigger is going to be pulled here, but it feels like, are you going to do this from the shadow or the light? So let me get you the final blessing. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video or receiving this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need. This full moon to new moon, October into November 2021, that they may find the hidden blessing of the right words coming to them, flowing from them, from that place of Four of Pentacles, stability, solidity inside of them, the wisdom, the experience, not all the way to the 10, but solid enough to really refill their own cup and be able to share wisely, inspiring others, that they help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts as the Prince archetype in the light, with romantic charm and potential for power, maybe even igniting the potential for power in other people to create that seahorse equality, both masculine and feminine dynamic in balance there as well, through this death card transformation that feels more liberating than damning, to be honest, because love is all around them. There is love everywhere all the time. They simply need to acknowledge that truth, but the key to that seems to be by acknowledging and empowering others for for the gifts that they hold, and may they do so with great courage rather than cowardice, with great love rather than fear, finding truth rather than lies, illusions, deceptions, and delusions, as the blessings of the right words flow through them in whatever situation this is, alchemizing the lead to gold, the shadow to light, the pain to peace, the toxic to the healthy, for them and for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. It's a powerhouse read. But don't forget that romantic charm. Look, I got the Prince archetype, and it's a little unfair because that romantic charm usually works on women, and I'm gay. So, you know, it's like, well, that's sort of not fair, right? But, you know, it is what it is. And when your clientele is 95% female, you cope with it. And you tell them we have so much in common, including the types of people we like to be with, like men. So, yeah, whatever. I said to my dear friend Lillian Carter, Boston choreographer, she was my college roommate, we were talking on the phone yesterday, I said, you know what, I realized, not that I'm gender fluid, but I have a female heart and a male body, and I'm okay with that, right? So amp that up, be the Prince. Purple Rain, oh, I miss him terribly, don't you? Oh, darling, darling Nikki, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please like it. It helps other Leos see it. You want more, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and certainly if you want to take classes with me on Facebook, links in the description box. Go read my book, and certainly if you want to book me for a private reading, you know how to do that, link in the description box. Otherwise, wishing you truly the very, very best and the very, very blessed of this new, full to new October, November. I'm going to be working this mantra for sure. Hail, my beloved, beautiful, gifted Leos. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.